Hey everyone, I just wanted to send a quick note here because there was a little bit of information that came up in instructional council today that would normally be kind of like department meeting type information, but probably couldn't wait or shouldn't wait all the way until next month. So this is kind of like a little mid-month bump here, just some information, 2 points to talk about. So one of them is graduation. It looks like we're going to have face-to-face graduation on May 7th and 8th. They're going to plan, at the moment, 12 ceremonies across those 2 days and try to get as many folks graduated as possible. They want to include folks who are graduating this May, but also folks who graduated last May and didn't get to have a face-to-face ceremony. But because of that, and because of obviously COVID and all that, the logistics are a little bit tricky to work out. So it's super important this year that students really RSVP for their intention to walk in the graduation ceremony. I know in the past, we have allowed students to pretty much walk in on graduation morning, buy their cap and gown, and walk in the ceremony. That's just not going to be possible this year because they're going to have to make really detailed plans about the number of people involved in each ceremony, where they'll be, when they'll be there, and all of that. So you saw an email go out from the PIO's office today asking students to RSVP to apply for graduation and to RSVP for their intent to graduate. There's 2 links in that. There's also a link in the little kind of PDF that I'm sending out with this announcement. If you could just share that link with your students and ask them to really consider RSVPing for their intent to graduate. I think we'd like that done by the date the registrar mentioned in the meeting was the 25th of March. April 1st is going to be their grad fest, and they need to have an idea of how the ceremonies will shake out by then. I think March 25th is what she was hoping for. There may be a little flexibility around there, but really let's encourage our students over the next 2 weeks to RSVP for that graduation. There's going to be 2 tickets available per student for their family to come, and we want to involve faculty because we know you all love getting to see your students graduate and all of that. We're just not entirely sure what that looks like just yet. So stay tuned for some information there too. Sound good? Cool. So first thing, graduation, students have to RSVP. Make sure they do it. And let's put some announcements in our classes and help them get that done. The second thing is there's CARES Act. There was a follow-up that's called HERF 2. And there's actually even more money coming from the latest stimulus plan. And particularly in that HERF money that came, that was the second round, that's money directly for students. And we want to make sure that we get all of it handed out to students. So there was a request to ask students to fill out this form to apply for funding, essentially for them to be at school. One way to look at this is anyone who's in school right now is being impacted by COVID-19. If you're in school at all, you're being impacted, right? So I think that more things will be available for this funding than students believe. I think there will be more opportunities for them to get access to this funding than they even think there may be. So let's encourage them to apply for that. There's a link in, again, the PDF that I sent you, and there was an announcement from Shauna that went out today that included a QR code that could take you to that same form. And I think they can even fill out a report of concern on the website to get to that information as well. I think there's something like $800 or more available for each student. And in the meeting that I was in, they mentioned things like, digital materials that you need for school, travel expenses, books, anything that's directly a direct cost of going to school. Housing can be a part of it. Anything like that that's a direct cost of going to school is eligible for this. So, let's see if we can get some funding into our students' hands here. And again, encourage them. Post these links on your Canvas sites, set them out as announcements, and let's see if we can get our students encouraged to get some funding and to graduate. So those are the 2 big information bumps right now for the middle of March. Hopefully they're useful for you, and hopefully we can, move the needle on those things a little bit even before what would be our next meeting in April. All right, hope you're all doing well. I'll talk to you later.